Hey guys, how's it going? It's Mr. Verdi here. This is like take freaking number 6, okay? But we're gonna do this. Here we go. We're gonna talk about the nervous system and how we divide it, okay? And we'll divide it first spatially and then by functions of the nervous system, all right? And hopefully you can take away some key principles that'll help us as we go and study the neuron, which is where most of the time that we're gonna spend on nervous system, we spend on the individual functional unit of this whole deal, okay? But first, any discussion of the nervous system always begins with a quick overview of the divisions. So, as we look at the screen, I hope you can see my mouse. The first two divisions that we're going to take our nervous system and divide into are the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Okay, and this is the division that's just spatial. Okay, basically, either you're in the brain and spinal cord, you're the central nervous system, or you're not. Okay, and you're a neuron or cell that works with the nervous system. If you're not in the brain and spinal cord, we call you part of the peripheral nervous system. Think peripheral vision towards the outside, not the center, okay? So that's our first two division. Now, I went through a lot of pictures, and this is the one I ended up on, okay? What I like about it is this. It shows that the peripheral nervous system and the central nervous system communicate, right, in two different ways. In one way, the peripheral nervous system brings information from the outside of the body or from somewhere, I should say maybe somewhere inside the body too, to the central nervous system. So there's a one-way communication from peripheral nervous system to the central nervous system, right? But then the central nervous system, after integrating the information that comes from the body, it can send out output from the central nervous system to the peripheral nervous system. So there's a two-way flow where peripheral, like you can imagine, Mr. Lean talks to me and tells me what to do, but then I can tell Mr. Lean what's going on in the classroom, right? So there's a division of communication here, okay? But they are able to talk to each other, all right? So what we're going to look at now is the peripheral nervous system is further divided for our purposes, right? The central nervous system is too, by the way, all the different regions of brain and spinal cord and brainstem. But for our purposes, we're going to spend our time looking at the peripheral nervous system this morning. All right, so the peripheral nervous system is further broken down then into an afferent division and an efferent division. Okay, if you wanted to use layman's terms or in terms of the bourgeoisie, the afferent division you could think of as your sensory division, the efferent division as your motor division. Okay, now as far as the afferent division goes, I could ask you guys, and you won't be able to respond because you're just listening right now, how many senses you have, and most people say 5. Well, that's not quite right. I think the number is like 30 something senses. Meaning the body's constantly taking measurements of what's happening inside of it and outside of it. Okay, you might say touch, taste, touch, taste, feel, duck, dodge, dive. I just watched Dodgeball, sight. But your body also has to monitor pressures, concentrations of ions or gases that are dissolved in the blood, right? Calcium, all kinds of ion levels. So all those are incorporated in this peripheral nervous system, this afferent division. That information then will be brought to the central nervous system. You think, how do you know you're thirsty, right? Well, your hypothalamus is in charge of recognizing thirst, right? Well, how does that happen? There's a little osmolarity regulation center, right, in different areas of the brain, and the kidneys can regulate how much water is in your blood and how much salt. But in order to regulate that, you have to measure it, okay? So that's what the afferent division is in charge of. Okay, and then obviously along with visceral stimuli, meaning...
Try to make it a little quieter. James is taking his nap. I can hear you all the way
Okay, deal. Okay.
in the basement.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'm almost done. Okay, so we're going to move on now because James is taking a nap. Close the door. Okay, the efferent nervous system. The efferent division is our motor division of the peripheral nervous system, okay? So with motor, there's a voluntary system, right? The somatic nervous system, all right? And we would call those motor neurons then, and they go and innervate skeletal muscle. So the efferent division divided into somatic and autonomic. Somatic is voluntary. It's going to help you move your bones by moving muscle, okay? And those are called motor neurons. We'll spend more time there later. Cool. We definitely come back to motor neurons and what they release and what happens there. All right. The second division of the efferent division, again, this is the motor. This is your body telling you to do something, okay? The autonomic division is broken down into two. And you psych kids have heard these terms before. all right, the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, well, with the sympathetic nervous system, that's involved with fight or flight. Okay, you might think of it as your stress response, right? But if you see a bear, the sympathetic nervous system will be activated, and it will cause changes. And here's just a couple examples in smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, glands. And well, what does that mean? Basically, if you see a bear in the woods, well, we're gonna change smooth muscle, and smooth muscle wraps around your blood vessels, right? What we can do is we can actually constrict blood to your skin. You can imagine, if Mr. Verdi sees a bear in the woods, my face is going to go white, right? Well, why is that? Because the blood vessels going to my face are going to constrict to shunt blood away from my skin where we don't need it and dilate near my skeletal muscles, my big skeletal muscles that will be involved with running from that bear. Okay, so that would be sympathetic nervous system activation that cause all kinds. And this will be body system wide, not just blood vessels, but actually, it causes release in hormones that will cause different changes, right? Including, I think your eyeballs will dilate to take in more light when the sympathetic nervous system is activated. Okay, the opposite of that, the parasympathetic nervous system, the little rhyme we have for that instead of fight or flight with the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system is in charge of resting and digesting. Okay, when you are relaxed and sitting in your chair, I don't know, reading a chemistry book, that parasympathetic nervous system will be activated and you're going to start to feel sleepy. You might even, if you're like me, feel the urge to go to the bathroom pretty quickly after you open up that chemistry book. Anything to help me not learn about magnesium ions and what color they turn in different solutions. Okay, let's finish this up. So again, the nervous system is divided into a central and peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system is divided into a afferent, sensory, and an efferent division, which we further divide into voluntary and involuntary divisions. Okay, involuntary divisions of the autonomic nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic, we want you thinking fight or flight and rest and digest. Okay, guys, you'll hear more from me later. Until then, have a great day.